So a couple days ago, Samsung held their foldable event in which they unveiled the new Z Flip4 and the new Z Fold4. This is a Z Fold3, my old Z Fold3 from last year, and just to make that clear. If you haven't seen any videos on this, I will link it here or wherever, and in the description below for you to check out. But in this video, I want to get into why you shouldn't go for the Z Fold4 entirely, or if you really want a foldable, you should get the Z Fold3 instead of the Z Fold4. But before we get started, I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel by subscribing, liking, sharing, whatever you do to support the channel. I really appreciate it. So thank you and keep it up, yeah? Alright, now let's get into it. So to really understand where I'm coming from in terms of why you shouldn't go for the Z Fold4, we have to go all the way back to when the Z Fold3 released. So let's go all the way back. So the Z Fold3 had three main upgrades from its predecessor, the Z Fold2. The under-display camera, S Pen support, and the new cover display. So the front-facing camera on the Z Fold2 was a punch hole cutout, so there was just all display and then a cutout for a camera. But on the Z Fold3 there is an under-display front-facing camera. Now granted, it's not the best camera, but it does allow for the display to have a really unique design and an all-screen display. Now the second upgrade from the Z Fold2 to the Z Fold3, it was S Pen support. So they finally put a digitizer underneath the display which allowed for input with the S Pen. And now the third and final big upgrade from the Z Fold2 to the Z Fold3 is this cover display. On the cover display on the Z Fold2, it has 60Hz refresh rate, which is, it was usable. No, I'm joking. It was actually pretty good, but it was just not as smooth as the inside display, which was 120Hz. But the cover display on the Z Fold3 is upgraded to a 120Hz refresh rate display, which is really nice. It's smooth, it's beautiful, and it is now the same as the inside display, so it makes everything consistent, which is awesome. So those three upgrades made it a pretty good upgrade from the Z Fold2 to the Z Fold3, or just to buy the Z Fold3 just like that. Even if you didn't have any other folding phone before, the Z Fold3 was a really good folding phone to get into, which it was for me. I'm one of the people whose first folding phone was the Z Fold3. So these three main upgrades from the Z Fold2 made it worth it to get the Z Fold3. And of course, along with other small features that this also has, but obviously those are not as important as these three. So now let's take a look at the upgrades from the Z Fold3 to the Z Fold4. So first things first, the camera has been upgraded from the Z Fold3, which had like a 3-year-old setup from the S10 series of Samsung phones, which, it's pretty old now in 2021, but in 2022 now, the Z Fold4 has the camera setup of the S22 series, which is a pretty good upgrade. They're good cameras. But that is not to say that the Z Fold3 has bad cameras. The Z Fold3 actually has pretty good cameras, so take that for what it's worth. The second upgrade from the Z Fold3 to the Z Fold4 is, well, just aesthetic changes, to be honest. The front display got slightly less, slim. It has a little bit less bezel, and so it looks a little bit more normal, but still looks kind of weird. But it looks better than the Z Fold3 nonetheless. And the cover display also now is upgraded from Gorilla Glass Victus to Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, which is good, but it's still glass, and when glass is dropped at the right angle or from the right height or something like that, it will break. And the third and final upgrade from the Z Fold3 to the Z Fold4 is actually a software feature, which I don't really know that I could call it an upgrade because it's software. You can probably add it into the Z Fold3 and probably even the Z Fold2. But it is a taskbar sort of feature, which is basically like a dock for your phone or tablet, I guess. It has all your apps, and it has the multitasking thing, it has all your navigation, and it's pretty cool. But like I said, it is a software feature, so they can bring it to the Z Fold3 and probably even the Z Fold2, but only time will tell. We'll see what happens. So those are the three main upgrades from the Z Fold3 to the Z Fold4, and you can see it's not as big of an upgrade from the Z Fold2 to the Z Fold3, which is why I believe what I said earlier, which is that you shouldn't get the Z Fold4, or you shouldn't upgrade to the Z Fold4 if you have the Z Fold3 or Z Fold2, because you only get a slightly better camera, slightly better design, slightly better cover display, slightly better under display front-facing camera if you get the Z Fold4. These are all incremental upgrades that I don't think is worth the money to pay for the Z Fold4. Instead, what I think is worth it is to get the Z Fold3 from like a used marketplace, like maybe Facebook Marketplace or the Amazon used section or refurbished section or something like that, or maybe even Kijiji or eBay or something like that. But the main point being that it's better to go for the Z Fold 3 than to go for the Z Fold 4, just because of how drastically differing the prices are versus the features and experience you'll get with both phones. If I were to sum this whole video up in one sentence, just one simple sentence, it is that you will get the same experience on the Z Fold 4 as you will get on the Z Fold 3, just for a significantly lower price. So yeah, Samsung's new phones are pretty cool, but they are very similar to last year's phones, and if you really want a folding phone, I would say to just stick to the flipping phone, the Z Flip4 or maybe even the Z Flip3, because it's a much lower price, but it's a really cool concept. As for the folding phones, the Z Fold3 and Z Fold4, I would say stick to the Z Fold3, but if you're still not impressed with the Z Fold3, you're gonna have to wait another year for the Z Fold5. You know, funny enough, my plan was to trade in my Z Fold3 for a Z Fold4 for two reasons actually. One, because I wanted to test out Samsung's trade-in program. I know that Apple has their own and Samsung has their own, but I wanted to test out Samsung's because they seem to, provide a lot of good incentives. And the second reason is just so that I can have the new phone and make more content for you guys. But now, after learning about the Z Fold 4 and its features or lack thereof, I don't think I'm going to be trading in my Z Fold 3 because it's pretty much the same device. There's no real benefit to it. And on top of that, I'd have to pay $800 out of pocket just to upgrade to the newest folding phone. So it didn't seem worth it to me, and that's why I'm here standing making this video for you guys. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to see more, and share with your friends and family who are curious about the folding phones and are wondering whether it's worth it to upgrade to the Z Fold 4 or get it at all. If you have any questions or concerns or any comments, or if you disagree with me, let me know down below in the comment section. I will get to it all, and that's the least I can do after all the support that you guys have shown. I really appreciate it, and once again, thank you for all the support, and thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.